Well, good morning, guys. I'm going to introduce you to my new friend. Let me drag him over here. This little guy here is my new Erickson 17,000 pound winch. And much like a lot of my projects, I first started off over at Princess Auto. I picked myself up this bad boy here, and it's gonna turn my tiny little tractor into a massive wood log skidding thing. So I hope, anyways. I gotta do a little bit of modifications to my little tractor in order to accommodate this thing, and some extra batteries, and get her all set up and get this thing rocking. So that's what I'm gonna do. I got the specs on that guy. So 3,500 pounds, you got 11.48 feet per minute at 182 amps, which is it's pretty good. So like a 17,000 pounds, you're at 2.9 feet per minute at 450 amps. So that's like your max pulling, and that's like no load. You got 23.6 feet per minute retract speed. So that'll be really convenient when we're actually just kind of tightening up the log, and then the actual full pull is 2.9 feet per minute, which is very respectable. But this is also cordless, which is kind of cool, and corded. So you can have it, you can operate it out of the way of danger. 2 marine grade batteries, just big ones. And I'm going to double them up here on the back of the tractor. So much with a lot of these projects, I start little to see if they work for me, and go bigger, more power, as Tim the Toolman Taylor would say. So that's the plan. So I had a smaller winch on here, and it worked okay. I just needed more pulling power, so that's why I'm gonna double it now. So double the power, double the winch, triple the winch. Actually, it's quadruple or 5 times the amount of winch. So it's gonna go back here, and yeah, I just gotta figure it all out. So I gotta get all the parts laid out and see what I'm working with. I gotta get this thing out of the box. It's massive. Ow. This is the first time in my life where the picture didn't look, it didn't do it justice on the box. Usually you're looking at a bowl or a box of cereal and you're like enlarged to show texture. This one actually shrunk to it. Wow. This thing's huge. This thing's gonna, like, I don't even have to cut the trees, just yank them out of the ground. Holy moly. Do not exceed. I don't think I can exceed 17,000. I gotta get it out of the box. There we go. Ah, kid in the candy store. Wireless wired. Oh, you can, I guess if your battery's low, you just plug it back in, because it's got wireless button and a wired button. I should really read the directions on this thing. I just wanted to have a look at it to see what I'm dealing with. But okay, so I was reading in the manual, and it said that there is an optional bracket that is a standard bracket that will fit on all these bolts. As it turns out, my local store does not carry it, so I'm gonna make one. Because, well, why not make one? I got a chunk of steel. I don't know if you guys can tell how big that is. That's probably like a 3/4 inch plate steel. The winch is gonna sit on, and then you gotta have a thing, like, this thing is the, like the cable guide is going to go through that thing. So that thing sits a little up. And then I was thinking that for the front, which is an old rental from a house. You'd see these support brick on your house. That's the, like that. I want well, that thing to that thing, and that should work. It is cut, so it's like a little jaggedy piece, so make a little squarer. So I'm pretty much a novice when it comes to plasma cutting. So what I've got is actually, this is a Princess Auto tool holder. Like, you would normally put it on the wall, and it you know, see that there's a piece of tape on there. So you normally put it on the wall, and you hang up screwdrivers to it. So like, this is, you know, so that's what I'm gonna use as a straight edge, because that's gonna act as a guide for my, yeah, just like that. So this is my plasma tip. Can you see me? Plasma tip. And that's gonna go like along the edge there once I strike the arc. All right, here goes nothing. In order to make the bracket or the mounting plate for the winch, I first took the winch, measured it up to determine the size, Once I figured out that size, I took a couple of pieces of scrap steel that I had laying around. I squared them up using the plasma cutter, and then once that was done, I took a piece of cardboard, laid it on the underside of the winch, marked out where all of the mounting holes were, transferred them to the steel, and then used the plasma cutter to cut the holes. Now, this was a particularly difficult task, as I'm not very good with a plasma cutter, and I was getting slag kind of shooting back up at me and whatnot. So there's probably a learning curve and to do that. So I'm not sure if it's great to poke holes with a plasma cutter. But anyways, I got the holes poked. I ended up going from both sides because it is like 3/4 inch thick plate steel. So the plasma cutter had a little difficulty cutting it, but once those were basically cut from both sides and then cleaned up, I was able to get the bolt through. Now, once that's done, I ended up taking a piece of lintel or angle iron. Originally they're used to hold a brick on a house, and I laid that out as well, and I punched a couple more holes in that, and I also cut a hole for the winch cable to go through. Now, once this is all done, I'll be able to take it and then weld it together, and then that in turn will be mounted to the tractor. I got a question for you guys. Does anybody have a welding helmet that doesn't hurt their head? Like, this thing is like, it eats my brain. I don't know what it is that it just doesn't, I can't get it to fit properly. I ended up trying to put the hoodie underneath and then kind of do it that way, but I don't know, maybe there's like a softer head basket thing. Anyways, just figure I'd put it out there. All right, so the plan now is to attach the angle iron to the big pot piece of steel. I've already got it clamped together. I've turned the welder up to like, I don't know, full tilt, 26 amps or something like that. Hopefully it'll be enough. This is my prime welder rig. So it's just a wire feed welder with an argon shielding gas, and I'm just gonna attach it. And my rule of thumb is that if you can't weld well, weld lots and lots and lots. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add some weld to this, and then I'm gonna add some more. And then hopefully that stays. What's the worst that could happen? I added some of this. I added another bracket to this so it holds my basket in place a little bit better, less deflection, and I also added a bar to house both my deep cycle batteries, which and I added basically a giant bolt that I'm going to bolt them down so they don't rattle around. And then I got my winch is pretty much set. I've got the wheel guide, and there's a big roller and a skinny roller. The big roller is supposed to be on the bottom, and yeah, I've got the clearance for the cable to go through there. The only thing that I gotta change is the bolts that go from here up to here. So I'm gonna head over to Princess Auto, pick myself up some extra long bolts, and they're like 12.9, whatever that means, like high grade bolts, so they don't just shear off and the winch go flying, because that would not be cool. So yeah, I just gotta get those, and yeah, some battery connection to get some power going on there. But yeah, we're in good shape. So I was thinking of a way to put these batteries, kind of secure them in place. So what I did was I used a hockey puck, which is made out of rubber, for those people that don't know what a hockey puck is made out of. And then I used a fender washer and made it a little bit bigger. And then I used a nut, and then that allows me to squash that batteries down so they don't jiggle around. And it doesn't have the metal on plastic. It should offer some sort of vibration, dampening, so that'll be secured in place. All right, we got her all bolted down. Everything's secured. The welds are tight, grounded. Everything's all set up, and I'm just kind of figuring out how to use this thing. And what's really cool about this thing is it's wireless. There's a little button over here, which is you click it and it says wireless, or you can, hook it up corded. And it's got the in and out button, but like you can control it pretty much from anywhere, out of danger. So like that's the reverse button. You can actually free spool it with this little control thing here, but yeah, you can retract. So while you're at the log, you can actually have this thing in your hand, and you can actually, in theory, you could ride your log all the way back. The pioneers used to ride these for miles. Well, maybe not, but anyways, that's really cool. So let's get this thing out into the field and give it a run for its money. We got some really big blow down trees that we got to take down, so we're going to try that out and hopefully get them up to our landing area, because there's a really big slope involved, and basically it's to allow me to actually extract all these logs without actually being on a slope, because tractors and slopes don't really agree, and logging on a slope is not the easiest thing to do. And also, like, just driving a tractor in the forest when you don't really want to disturb it, it's also a bad thing. So this winch is really going to help out. So let's give it a try. All right, so we're in the bush now, and well, we got to deal with this tree here, which has got the little toadstool on it, which the wife wants. So this guy's been dead for a really long time, and it's kind of starting to dump branches and stuff. That cedar tree actually is not doing the greatest, but we can take a look at kind of what we're dealing with. So it's really hard to show hills, but this is a giant hill that all the stuff is at the kind of at the bottom of. And if you look at this guy here, like, there's an ash tree that's kind of hung up in that one up there. So this one has to come out, and then this one beside it has to come out, and then there's some down there that have to come out. And there's lots that are just standing there. You can see that one there has to come out, and then you've got this one here that's already kind of half out. But, like, as far as the eye can see, there's another one there. That one has to come out. So there's probably a couple dozen, at least a couple dozen monsters. And every time the wind blows, they seem to take them down. Like, there's a little guy there. There's another one that just kind of snapped off. So you can see that, and then but over here, this one snapped off. I already actually took it out because it actually snapped up the hill, which is convenient. That one there. We already talked about that one. Then you got this one over here, which is, that's a super monster one. Like, look how big that one is. And it's dead all the way up. So anyways, this winch has got its work cut out for it. All right, so the idea today is to just basically knock these things on the ground, remove the tops, whatever we can salvage out of the tops, and then winch them onto the trail, which is kind of on the upper section of the property. And then we're gonna probably buck them up there for firewood at a later date. But I just trying or torture testing that winch to see just how much it can pull. Like, I imagine you could probably just hook up those winches to the trees, not even cut them, and just rip them out of the ground. But that would be kind of violent, so we're not gonna do that. Oh, we might do that. All right, let's get cutting that maple tree, and then focus on some of these ash. That was close. That tree was like super dead. Like, you can see it didn't even have any holding wood left. You can see the punkiness. Kind of turns it into like styrofoam. Look at the notch. It just sheared off. It didn't even allow me to get, well, I guess I cut all the good wood, which is there. There was a little, there's nothing. That thing was holding on for like right here. Ever so slightly. Crazy. Yeah, you can see like just how bad that tree is. Like, there's literally, like, there was nothing holding that tree up. Just that section. Everything else is just punky. Wonder how far up the tree. Wonder how far up the tree before we get any good stuff. You know, what do you think of that?
It's a lot deader than I thought.
Yeah, deader as a doornail. Look at that thing. Like, about up top here, we got some like really nice firewood. Actually, it's already pre-dried, almost like kiln dried. All right, Don, you got the power.
I got the power in my hand.
All right, let's see if it works for good wireless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wireless.
Yeah, and then in. Oh. Is it going? Oh yeah, she's going. This tractor looks like it's gonna move. That's a really big log. It's moving. Let's try to get it out of the way. Pretty much like it's nothing. It doesn't even sound like it's struggling. There you go, that's good right there. There. Perpendicular to the trail. Look at that. Eh? Check it out. You can see how much Holden wood that was the Holden wood there. And the perfect little line, there's about an inch there. Not bad. Kind of overcut in the middle. It's okay, it's on the ground. Heads up, Don. Stand over there. Where's the weak point? That's interesting. Huh. Well, she's strong. Maybe I have to redesign that. I didn't even weld that one. Huh.
Which way did it go?
It just broke off. That was connected to the bottom of there. It was a clean break. Who do we blame that on? We gotta blame that on somebody.
It's not me. It's not you.
That's right.
Frankie?
Yeah, Frankie. We'll blame it on Frankie. That's the best case scenario, really. Yeah. Well, we got the forks now. We can just lift that whole piece back and weld it. Huh. All right, that's probably good. It's like a self-propelled thingamajigger. It's something. It's strong. It's a strong winch. Ripped it right off the tractor. Well, if we look closely, we can kind of see what happened. This thing here was attached there, and it kind of broke off for no reason. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some gussets and kind of weld them from this guy to this guy, kind of like a triangle piece, and that's going to further, you know, strengthen this thing. So I think what happened is it might have pulled a little crooked and broke off, or you know, it might have been weakened by, you know, pulling around a 20-ton, or not 20-ton, a 2-ton dump trailer for that long a time, rattling around. But anyways, I'll just take it apart and weld it up, because I think, if I can get it off, there we go. Get that out of the way. All right, well, I've added the plates there to the back side. I actually added a spacer because this piece is wider than this piece, so there's actually extra steel on the sides that kind of marry up to this little tube here, and then I did a full weld all the way around. Hopefully that'll hold it. You can see all the way around inside there, so it shouldn't, that part shouldn't break. If that part breaks right there where I just welded, I'll eat my hat, because there's no, that is not breaking. Somewhere else might break, but that is not breaking. let's try to find something that's not really in the ground, because that tree stump is, well, you know, it's gonna live another day, because well, it's been in the way for a while, and I figured maybe it'll just rip out, but I guess I gotta dig it out. It was worth a try, right? Good test of the weld. All right, we're back for round 2. A little nemesis log here that we couldn't move before because it ripped it off the back of the tractor. I've got her all welded up again, and we're gonna give her a whirl. This is the coolest thing ever, which is the remote control. So let's back her up and hook her on and give her a whirl. What's up, Frankie? Maybe that's just it's too heavy for the tractor. Winch says, yeah, let's go. Tractor says, no, no, no. Well, that worked out pretty good. That's 3 tree stumps that I didn't really have a plan for. Ripped them out pretty darn good. As you can see, they're rather large. So just let the water do the rest, the rainwater, and then you can just take them off. There's the cedar stumps. You never know. Those are kind of cool once they're all cleaned off. Well, I think I've figured it out. Basically, I have to work within my tractor's limitations. This winch just keeps on pulling and pulling and pulling, and basically if the object doesn't move, it just tows the tractor to wherever the object is, which is crazy. It's crazy powerful. Like, this tractor only weighs, I don't know, maybe a ton, not even a ton, probably like 1,500 pounds or something like that. So it just kind of drags it to wherever the object can't move. And it's a pretty good fail-safe. So if the tractor's moving, you know, you got a little bit of weight on it. So I don't really want to anchor the tractor to anything, because I'll just tear it apart. So anyways, maybe this winch is a little too big for this little tiny tractor. Who knows? But as you can see, the thing works really, really well, and it's pretty much towed anything that I've hooked it up to. And in the event I do get my tractor stuck in the mud, it'll easily just, you know, pull it out and hang it up to dry, because it's that powerful. And yeah, you just got to use a little bit of tact in order to you know, use some technique as opposed to just kind of just huffing on it. But I got quite a few more logs left to pull out, and the reason why I'm pulling them out is because operating a tractor on a slope really is unsafe. So I want to be up on the kind of like the landing area in order to pull them up. So maybe the idea is to cut them into smaller pieces and not just trying to winch the entire tree up, because well, because the tractor isn't heavy enough. It's not that the winch can't do it, it's that I don't have enough traction with the tractor to actually pull it up. So basically, final thoughts, final words on this this winch. It is definitely very, very powerful, and I probably, if you are going to get yourself one, this is an Erickson winch. If they've got all different sizes. This one's 17,500. It's the most powerful winch they make that I've seen on their website. So if you guys are looking for a winch, be sure to check out Erickson. They have different size ones. So maybe, like, you know, get a winch that's a little bit heavier than your tractor, and it'll pretty much carry or pull anything that that is, you know, less than your tractor's weight out, or just double it. So like if you got a 1,500 pound tractor, maybe a 3,000 pound winch or something like that. But the idea behind this thing is just, I just wanted to try it. I just want to get the biggest, baddest winch I could possibly grab in order to just try it out. But who knows? This might actually go on a Jeep someday, and for some off-roading or something like that, just to you know, use useful purpose. But it is on a trailer hitch at the end of the day, so it is movable. So you could hook it up to the back of to a truck. You know, if you had to pull a truck out of the ditch or whatever, you can move it because it is on a hitch pin. So you just pull that out and away you go. And yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and join me on the next one.